it's a problem. Okay, so one more time. We are, let me just say this one more time so we can, I have list L1 for X variable. I have Y variable in list L2. Now I want list L3. I want this to be list L3. Well, what does it represent? I have to replace X in the linear regression line by these and calculate each and every entry, predicted value. So highlight list L3, call variable 1, so click on variables, go to the Y variable, and then click on the function Y1, and you want to plug in, put in parentheses now, you want to plug in, you want the calculator to evaluate Y1 at every entry in L1. So second and 1, second and 1, and I'm hoping you have this. Y1 evaluated for every entry in L1, and when I press enter, I get them all at once. So I'm going to copy them to 57.65, 260.81, again of course 260.81. Next one, 263.98, 267.15, 270.31, 276.64, and 276.64. Finally, I want to determine the residuals. So now the residuals will be list L2 minus list L3. List L2 minus list L3. So go to highlight the label, the top of list L4, and we want list L2 minus list L3. Second L2 minus second L3. And when I hit enter, you will create this minus this and put them all at once. So 0.3525, negative 3.814, 2.1864, 2.0203, negative 3.146, 3.6881, 0.3559, and negative 1.644. Now, we finally want to draw a residual plot. Residuals plot. Why? Remember when we started, we talked about why we wanted to check with the table 2 whether the linear regression model was a good fit or not, and we looked at the table. Now we want to plot these residuals for the same reason. We want to check whether the linear regression line is a good fit, whether the model is that we applied is indeed good for the data. These are still the X values. Again, I'm going to make a break. 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. But now these are the residuals. As you see, the smallest one in the negative is going to negative 4, and the top one maximum 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now for each entry, each X value, I'm going to plot the point X, comma, its residual. X, comma, its residual. X, comma, its residual. So I'm going to use, I hope this is a good color. Let's see. Okay, so for 99.35, somewhere here. For 100, negative 3.8. For 100, also 2.1. For 101, 2.1. Roughly 2. For 102, negative 3.1. 3.6. There is no 104, and for 105 we have 0.3, and we also have negative 1.6. Okay, this is the residual plot. Question for you. Do you see any pattern? By pattern I mean something like for some data decreasing, and then maybe kind of stagnant, and then kind of increasing. Do we see any pattern here with the residual in the residual plot? So let me give you the heads up. No pattern implies linear regression appropriate. If I see a pattern, the linear regression is not a good fit. I don't see any pattern. There is no pattern. They're all scattered all over the place. So the residuals, some of them are above, some of them are below. I don't see a pattern. It doesn't go up and then down, or nope. Even for 100, it's plus or minus. 401 is positive residual, 102 is negative, and then positive, and then positive and negative. Obviously, there is no pattern. So we are confident that after we plotted the residuals plot, we can say, I think we chose the correct model. Not only the regression coefficient was within the range, but also the residuals plot says that the linear regression is okay. And the last thing I was going to say is that we can identify what is called influential observations, and I want to do this stat crunch for this, just for one. It will take another minute. If we have influential observations, so coming back here to the model, if we have something like this value or something like this value, you understand that the model will be pulled. So without these, it's this. But if I have something like this, the model will change. So if observations that are influential, it will affect the outcome, right? And the line, the linear regression line, or this one will definitely affect it, pull it towards it. We should investigate these points. We should not delete them from the data set and say, oh, they don't matter. No. One option would be to, of course, this is the y values. One option would be to collect more data and see if these are legitimate, make sure that they are not errors, but not remove them without making sure that they're not errors. If they are errors, then we have to remove them, but other than that, sometimes we use, statisticians use different techniques to reduce this influence. So they are applying some transformations. They're applying exponential functions or other functions to reduce the effect, the drastic effect at such a point that is called influential, or if you want an outlier, where you can also call that, but it's pulling the model in one or the other direction. Okay, that's all I had to say, but I'd like to do the stat crunch for a second. So I'm going back to home. I'm going to share my screen. Anybody there? Anybody listening? Anyone? I'm gonna sip a...
I am.
Oh, thank you.
Also, I'm just gonna say that I apologize for being late. We had a small family emergency, so I apologize that I'm late.
As long as everything is okay, I'm happy.
Also, where do we go for the video notes? Do we just look it up on YouTube, or can we find?
No, don't look it up on YouTube. I mean, I have the YouTube channel. Let me share with you. Let me share the screen. I was just getting there. Sorry for the delay. I have to click on different things here, and I can't see because of my equipment is in the way. So all the video lectures, you go to modules, and I have a module entitled Video Lectures and Lecture Notes Fall 2020, and everything is there. That's where I put the handouts. That's where all the videos are and the lecture notes right after the class. If I don't post everything, I may forget. No, that was a joke. I would not forget, but I have to delete the videos from my computer, otherwise I will not be able to record the next lesson. So I have to post them right away, upload them right away. You can go to the YouTube channel, but they will not be in the correct order. You will not have the lecture notes, so this is where I put them. Okay?
Okay, so after the class today, you will post it?
Oh, absolutely, immediately. I cannot record the next lesson. They are such huge files that my computer will not be, the camera will stop by itself if I don't delete those.
Got it, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry I'm late again.
No problem. What am I doing? Yes, I remember what I'm doing. So I have to go back to this and StatCrunch, and I have to log in. And where is my keyboard? Okay, it's here. Yes, anything?
Yeah, so just reviewing, if there's a pattern in the residuals plot,
Then we are in trouble because the variance has to be constant, number one, and if the variance is not constant, we cannot apply the linear regression model. So yes, if there is a pattern, we are in trouble. We are not on the right path. We shouldn't be using the linear regression.
okay.
Yes, if there is no pattern for the residuals, not for the actual points x comma y, but the residuals are x comma residual. Okay, so I do have my data, and I hope you still have it, and you saved it right here.
I have a question.
Yes, anything.
My StatCrunch is saying what I think Emma's used to say about I need some access code or something. So I was wondering how you fixed yours because.
Emma, did you fix yours? Because last time you left and I couldn't.
So I was able to access it, but it's still saying that I have to pay for it, and I have not been able to access it through the homework yet.
Because that's what mine's saying. Like it worked up until like just now. Like it's saying my access is expired or something, and I have to pay.
Okay, can you please?
So if you access it through the class, you should have access, but if you just try to open it, every time it's told me I need access, but if you open like, it'll have like lesson StatCrunch pieces you can open, those always work for me, and then you can just use the whole StatCrunch from there.
Sean, can you share, if I give you permission, can you share your screen for a second to, that will really help me because otherwise I have to call Robin.
Yeah, give me a moment to pull it up.
Sure.
Thanks, Sean.
I know, he's saving everybody, my goodness.
Yay!
Yay!
1.1.
Okay, I gave you permission.
Yep, I'm still getting it pulled up. Give me a moment.
Of course.